Hi, I'm John from Just Whiskey. If you like today's show, please give it a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. And consider becoming a Patreon with the link in the description below. And thanks so much for the few Patreons that I do have that help support this channel. Much appreciated. And remember, folks, it's just whiskey. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, John, you vowed to never review another Ardbeg again. But this was a gift from a friend of mine that recently came back from Scotland, hence the shirt. He visited the Frankenstein bar in Edinburgh. He showed me some videos. It looks like a really cool place. I'm a big Universal horror fan, and he knows that I love barbecue, and he knows that I love Scotch, and he knows that I also appreciate peated Scotch. So it's a nice gift, and I am going to talk about it and review it, and give a little bit of perspective on it, in my opinion. Okay. The specs. This was bottled on February 15th, 2023. And it comes in at 50.9% ABV. No mention of whether it's chill filtered. No mention of natural color. So we can maybe assume that there's been some chill filtering. Maybe assume that it's been some coloring added. I don't know. It's a non-age stated. We don't know how old it is. I've talked about this a couple of times in my Just News programs. And it retails in the United States for around $90, $92, $95. And I'm going to read the back, but in my opinion, for that price, even though it's much higher than the Ardbeg 10, it's higher than, well, it's probably about the same now as what you're going to pay for a Corey Reckon, probably. But considering the limit, the committee releases, all the special things or whatever, I mean, for $92, it seems like a relative bargain, considering what they're getting for Heavy Vapors right now. Heavy Vapors is between 140 and 160, and it appears that it's kind of lingering on shelves a little bit. So this is an experiment, so for $92, maybe it's worth the experiment or the experience. I'm just going to read the blurb in the back. It's short. Grilling meets distilling. Hey, it rhymes. Introducing Ardbeg Bizarrebq, our first ever barbecue-inspired whiskey, with the help of bona fide God of the Grill, Christian Stevenson, a.k.a. DG Barbecue. This mouth-watering malt was cooked up by master distiller Bill Lumsden. Ardbeg Bizarrebq has been matured in a combination of double charred oak casks, Pedro Jimenez sherry casks, and our unique barbecue casks, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. Together they ignite a feast of aromas in hickory smoked ham, grilled artichokes, flamed steak, and cinnamon dusted espresso. Okay, so we know what the double charred casks are. We know what Pedro Jimenez sherry casks are. The third element in this, what they did was they took casks over this giant hibachi, and they used seaweed and herbs and coals, probably hickory coals or whatever. So they smoked the seaweed and herbs. I don't know what kind of herbs. And they used that smoke to saturate the insides of the casks before they were filled. That's my understanding. So, we're going to get into this, and then I'm going to compare it to a couple of other things virtually. Okay. Yeah. So on the nose, so also too, when I first cracked this open, with the neck pour, right? It was on a clean palate, and if I reviewed it just on a neck pour, it would not have gotten a good review. I mean, it just was an explosion of barbecue smoked wood chips. That was the main sensation that you got, and on first impression, I thought, well, you know what, maybe that's why it's not $140. Maybe they're just trying to get rid of it. Just being candid here, folks. But now that it's come down a little bit, it's changed significantly. Okay. All right. On the nose, of course, you're getting smoke, a little bit of vanilla, battery acid, okay, spearmint, chimney soot, a slight hint of a peaty funk is there. And it reminds me of, it doesn't remind me of Lagavulin, but it reminds me more of Lagavulin than it does Ardbeg, if that makes sense. Okay. Palate. Okay. A couple of things. The malt activist recently reviewed this, and he said it was sweet, and he said for people that he had shared it with, they all said the same thing, sweet. But I'm not. To me, the sweetness is not on the forefront for me, not at all. There is a syrupy sweetness there, but by no means is it sweet like I expected it to be, like maybe like an Octomore, the 0.2 ranges. Okay. So it's got a syrupy texture to it, like wood juice. It's also got a bit of a bitterness to it. It's robust. It's woody. Picture if you are barbecuing, you're likely going to get hickory or oak wood chips if you're gonna buy it, and you soak those wood chips in water. That's kind of what this reminds me of. That's prominent, but also there's a spearmint, prominent spearmint note in the palate, and which some people might also call an herbal note, and lots of cinnamon as well. I'm not picking up fruits on the nose or the palate. The finish is a medium plus, but that woody, smoked element really hangs on your tongue. That oak spice, that wood spice, and that cinnamon and spearmint is also there. It takes a few drops of water pretty well, from my experience. If I had to sum this up, like Phil at Whiskey Mystery does when he just has a little catchphrase for everything that he samples and reviews, I would call this spearmint and cinnamon flavored wood chips. Barbecued wood chips. Yeah, there you go. Cinnamon and spearmint flavored barbecue wood chips. That's how I would sum this up. It does have a slight sweetness to it, but by no means will I say this is, overly sweet from my palate. I Before I did the review, I compared it to the Hypernova because the Hypernova was advertised and promoted as Ardbeg's smokiest ever release. Okay, so now here comes Bizarrebq. So the Hypernova, which I reviewed for my Patreon's exclusive Patreon video a while back, that had more of the classic Ardbeg, but more of a refinedness to it. But the Hypernova reminds me of melon, citrus, a little bit of that classic Ardbeg rubber tire, bicycle tire kind of a thing, and it was sweeter and smoother and more well-rounded, whereas this is a kick in the pants. This, in my opinion, is the smokiest Ardbeg that they've ever done. I mean, it's intense. Is somewhere in there, maybe there's a little bit of Ardbeg 10 buried in there, but it's buried in there. Sometime during the summer, I probably will try this with some barbecue, maybe some barbecue ribs or a nice steak. And I might, maybe in the fall, revisit this and kind of give you my experience with that. But from my experience with it now, I would say that it probably will complement barbecue. So if you're looking for something different, robust, woody, spearmint cinnamon flavored barbecued wood chips, then this is it. This is not something that I'm gravitating towards to drink every day. It's unique. It's a unique experience, and you just have to decide whether it's worth that price, that $92 in the United States. I think it's about 75 pounds, okay, in the UK, which probably translates to probably over $90 US, depending on the currency exchange. I think I've pretty much covered it all with this. I don't want to go too long. Score-wise on this, for my enjoyment, is an 85. I think if you're an Ardbeg fanboy, you're going to appreciate this probably more than I do. But it is interesting. And I don't know if to recommend it. I think if you're an Ardbeg fanboy, you're going to buy it no matter what, especially since it's a little south of $100. Again, it seems like a relative bargain in Ardbeg dollars these days. So I hope that helps. It's unique. It's an experience. And it is what it is at the end of the day. So I hope you liked today's show. If you did, give it a thumbs up, like, and subscribe, and consider becoming a Patreon with the link in the description below. And remember, folks, it's just whiskey. So hats off to you all, and take care, folks.